Were you one of these kids that had to take Ritalin? Were you one of these kids who was expected to receive A plus or 100 or 10, all of that, high scores? Or else you are not good enough? Or to be even more honest, or else you are a fucking loser, stupid, worthless, nothing in this world. Today, I want to share with you a realization that changed everything for me. And because of that, it helped me to rewrite the story that I lived by here and here. Because apparently, what we've been taught, some of us have been taught as the absolute truth, it's the absolute false for other people. Because there is always another way to live. And first of all, it's to understand that we are human beings and not robots. Now, I speak 3 languages. I am aware of the words that those 3 languages opened for me since a very young age. And this is the thing, that every language shows you another word. So people who know only one language know only this one culture. This one culture makes sense to them. This is the culture that they hear, that they understand, that they live by, the language. And when you are aware, and if you know another language, you can understand another culture and hear and think and live by another culture. And for example, with English, English opens you plenty of other words for countries that English is their main language, and every country has their unique culture. So you are aware of plenty of cultures. And this was in the past. In the past, I think that this was one of the ways to see that there are different ways to live by. Now you have the internet. Thanks for that. So with the internet, I wanted to understand about other cultures. So you're searching and asking questions. Even you can ask AI. That's what I did. And you have plenty of YouTube channels that shows you plenty of cultures. And in the past, I have heard one of the coolest things about the Dutch culture. They're amazing, right? Like if I was in Amsterdam and I fell in love with Dutches, the Dutches, this is how you call them? I don't know, but Dutch people. So they have in their culture something that's called like the six culture, the 6 things. 6, this is the number. And there in their school, for kids, teenagers, they have a range between 1 until 10 in grades. So they encourage kids based on like the clue that I gave you from the name of it. They encourage they encourage kids to get 6, not 10, aka 100 A plus. No. Not even 80. They encourage 6. Boom. So you're like, why? What the hell? Why did I was encouraged to receive 100? Okay? It's something that we all know about the Asians, that if the Asians receive less than 100, they're fucking losers. Not really. But we know it, that they have to receive the highest score as kids and teenagers, or else they're like screwed. And I originally Soviet, so we have the same thing. And I was like, wow, Why is that? Because 6, it's enough. It's enough to pass, right? You have a score that you have to get more, like above the score to pass the exam or the class. So receiving 6, it's enough to pass the class. Enough to pass the class. It's enough for you. Why it's enough to pass? Because it's obvious that you know enough to pass. So if you know enough to pass, it's enough. Now, why they encourage you for the enough? Because also 100 it's enough, but to be honest, 6 it's enough. Why they encourage you the 6? Because they want, you will be surprised about what I'm going to tell you now. They want the kids to be kids. They want the teenagers to be teenagers. Shocking. So fucking obvious. I know. I'm like, they expect kids to be kids and they expect teenagers to be teenagers, meaning they expect you to invest your precious time as a kid and being a kid. Your precious time as a teenager to be a teenager. Think about how many people in this world would see themselves as enough, would talk nicely about themselves, would walk around and feel good if all of us as kids have been taught that it's okay to be a kid and we need only to put time to get enough to pass. Because as I understood, for them, if you receive 80, 90, weird, because you wasted your time on sitting and remembering plenty of stuff instead of just meeting your friends. Weird. And why it's so important? Because so many of our beliefs based on our experience at school as kids. Comparing, he's better than me, I'm less. He's know this, I don't know that, I'm stupid. You see how the teacher is acting with the kids who are easy. And you see how the teacher ignores the kids who are useless or don't want to put the focus on kids who talk, who do stuff. That these are the kids that receive Ritalin. Even me, even I had to receive Ritalin. And I wasn't the kid who was talking. Like I had my own things. But I also was prescribed with Ritalin as a child because I'm like hyperactive. But I was silent at school. All of my grades were 50, 55. I barely passed. I don't know how I did it. At school until only I started to listen at school at 8th grade. Until then, everything 55, 55. And it's because they were nice. I didn't have a clue about anything because I just wasn't listening. I was drawing on the table. And for some reason, Ritalin supposed to help me. And the teachers, I remember, I had to translate to my mom. The teacher told me to translate to my mom that I am screwed, that there is no hope for me. Really, a kid, you're lunatic, a kid. Fucking hell, you a grown up saying to the mother that a kid, I have to translate so I know what they're talking about, that I have no hope, that I'm screwed, and this is why my mom never believed in me. This is why I never was scared to show my mom that all of my grades are 50, 55, because she believed the teacher and just was obvious for her that I'm stupid. And then I started to get a very good, I started to get A pluses, like 100 at school when I grew up. But my mom didn't believe in me because of that. So you see, not only it influenced me, more or less, because eventually I knew that I'm not stupid, but I knew that everybody around me think that I am. So I knew that my mom thought that I'm fucking stupid because I'm not receiving A plus. I just received enough. 55 was enough to pass the class. I received enough to pass the class, and I was stupid for everybody around me, like the grown-ups. And then you walk around as a grown-up, so many people believe that they are not enough, so they don't do anything. And so many people try to do so much to be enough, but guess what? It's still not enough. Being a kid and being a teenager, it's from all of the time that you have on this planet, based on like statistics that people die at the age of 80, more or less. So you have 20 years, even less than that, because you have the years that you like literally can't walk and do anything by yourself, and it takes time until you can get connections and like be playful and imagine. So it starts at what, the age 4 or 5, and then you have to like the teenage years stops at the age of what, 19. So you have these years to be a kid and to be a teenager, meaning you have these years to imagine, to be playful, to go out with your friends, to play video games, to be happy, to be sad, to play soccer, to fucking sit and bored and look at like at nothing, like that. To feel all the emotions, to try and be so many personalities, right? As kids, you're changing masks all day. Now I'm in my emo era. Now I'm in my rap era. You change all the time. Now I'm cool because I'm that. You change. This is the time to be a kid. And if you've been taught that you have to get those A pluses, you felt bad every time you just wanted to be a kid or you wanted to be a teenager. You felt bad about it. Because you thought that the right thing, because the grown-ups, who they are still are impacted from what they had at school. You see, if you will not change, you will be the same thing that you hate towards your kids. Boom. Very important. Very important. Important. So the grown-ups expect from me not be a kid, but I'm a fucking kid. I'm a kid. Let me be a fucking kid. Let me be a teenager. No, 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 no. You have to take all of your time and put it in studying and doing homework and studying. And if you're Soviet, like me and my partner, so you also have to clean your house before the parents coming back home, and my partner also had to cook. And what do they say? No, it's because you have to prepare them to life. First of all, as I said, most of the years that you have on this planet you are a grown-up at most of the years you're on this planet, okay? 60 years. It's enough to understand and learn things in the 60 years. Because when you're a child, you're supposed to be a child, you're supposed to be playful, creative, imagine, try. As a teenager, try. Also as a grown-up, you need to try. But because you've been learned since a young age that you should not try and you should not think. You need to obey and remember. Obey and remember and think only what they ask you to think. If they don't tell you to think something, you can't think about other things. You have to think only about the things that they tell you to think at school. So you're going out of school, and we all know that we gain nothing to life. So no, it's not preparing you. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie. No one prepares you to grown up, to being a grown up. They prepare you to feel afraid of being a grown up. People are afraid of responsibility. And this is also a wonderful thing that they teach in the Netherlands kids. And also I understood in all of the countries, and the Nordic countries, Finland, Iceland, Sweden, they teach kids responsibility. Meaning they teach kids to be aware of themselves, to know how to say no, to make decisions for themselves, decisions that like for kids, not important decisions. They don't teach them responsibility with clean the house. Like, I don't know, I'm not from there, but as I understood, it's not, hey, you need to learn how to be a grown-up, clean the house. You need to make the dishes. This is what grown-ups do. Hey, you need to learn how to sit and study, because this is what grown-ups do. You need to learn how to obey. If you don't obey, you are a bad kid. Good kids are the kids who are obeying. No. You need to learn how to think. You need to have critical thinking. You need to know how to second guess. To do that, you need to be creative. You need to use this, the human part we have in our brain, because we have the animal part, the survival mechanism, and we have the magical things that only humans have. That there is the logic, the decision making, and also the creativity, the imagination. Because to make decisions that are logic, you need to be creative, and you need to know how to imagine scenarios. This is why it's all in the same area. I was very surprised, to be honest, when I learned about it in the book, The Body Keeps the Score. Surprised for good, and also not surprised. If you teach your kids to appreciate themselves, to value their no's and therefore others people know, to see themselves, to recognize the feelings they have, to deal with the feelings that they have, they will be amazing as grown-ups. They will be fine. Because this is how it's supposed to be. They need to be kids as kids, they need to be teenagers and teenagers, and guess what? They will be grown-ups and grown-ups. Because what grown-ups that haven't had the privilege to be kids and teenagers as kids and teenagers, these people grow up to be emotionally immature, and they grow up with lack. They felt that they missed something, that it wasn't enough. And then they dump all the shit, not all of them, but they dumped their shit on the kids. They do the same to their kids. And they are angry at the world. And they have tantrums. And you're not allowed to say, these are the people who don't appreciate your no. They don't know how to deal with emotions because they didn't receive the privilege. It's something that's not supposed to be a privilege. It's supposed to be basic. But it's a privilege in some cases to be a kid and a teenager. But there, in the Netherlands and all of the other countries that I said, the Nordic countries, there they know that kids supposed to be kids. And it shows you how time, it's precious. And then as a grown-up, you also learn how to spend your time, and it's not spend, it's invest your time the best that you can to feel alive, to feel good, to feel joy, and not on things that make you look good in the society. Well, the truth is that no one cares, and this is why plenty of people at the age of 40 understand it, that no one really gives a shit. And truly, it's also the biggest thing that shows that it's not worthy of it, of trying too hard and waste all of your time on obeying and just studying and listen to what the people tell you to listen to, instead of go and play with your friends and just truly experience life, how it's been around people and being with myself. That not only the exams, that like there is always going to be another exam. So okay, so you received A+ in this exam. It's still not enough, because you will have another exam and another exam and another subject, exams in another subject. So exams. So you have plenty of exams, okay, and you're expected to receive high score. Okay, great. Finish school, finish your degree. No exams anymore. Boom, a lie. Because then you have to go through plenty of exams to be part of a company, like to get a job. And then at the job, every second in your day, it's like an exam. Because if you will receive 6, you can get fired, because you are expected every day to deliver 100%. And even if you will deliver your 100% every day, maybe for the workplace, it's not going to be enough and they can fire you. So this feeling of exams and trying to prove myself and getting A's, it will put you in this fucking shithole. Like I like even imagining this scenario, living like that. No one wants to live like that. It's scary to live like that. And it's not living, you're surviving, you're showing, you're proving yourself all the time, because you're scared. Because if you will not prove yourself all the time, people will see you as a loser. You will think that you're a loser. Maybe you will get fired. It's scary. And again, I'm not telling you to not do your job. I'm telling you to do enough. Enough. Do the 6 in things that you can do the 6, so you will have millions of energy when you want to leave. Because this is what's important. To put the energy that you have, the precious time that you have here, and it's super precious, because we don't know until when each and one of us have the time we have. And we know that all of us will have the end of time for us. Like, we will die, all of us, eventually. We don't know when, we don't know how. And because of that, I need to appreciate my time and put my time in things that making me feel alive. And alive, it also means even being sad, being frustrated. Because it means that you are alive if you're feeling those emotions. And it means that you are a grown-up, that you know how to handle those emotions. And I was talking to my partner about this today. And we also talked about this, that we understood that in their school, in Sweden, for example, you don't have any grades. I understood that this is what they do in private schools. In private schools, they don't compare you to others. There's no one way to study, and if you don't know, if your brain doesn't function like that, you have to take Ritalin, or you're stupid. You're like doomed. In private schools, the teacher matches himself to every student, because we are all different. And it's okay that we are all different. And what I am good at doesn't mean that you will be good at. And if we are not good at the same subject and you are better than me, it doesn't mean that you are better than me as a human being. And my partner told me today, because of that he wished that his child, he as a child, would go to a private school, because this not enough thing, this pressure to get A plus, had a lot of bad impact on him. And this is the cool thing, as I said in the beginning of the video, that now with this knowledge we can rewrite the story that we told ourselves. Now, when you understand that there is a reality in plenty of other countries, I'm telling you, not as a human being, one person they live like that. Countries who live like that in their culture, 6, it's enough because you need to live your life. Now you can see yourself. And my partner, this is how we see himself now. Now he sees himself and he thinks, well, so I was excellent. I did the best thing I could do as a kid. Because he didn't want to put all of his time, and also I didn't want to do it, in studying and receiving A's. He didn't care about it at all because he believed it's not enough. So if you believe that you are not enough, you would not put the effort. Or maybe you will, but maybe you will not. You don't know. So he thought that it's not enough. So he just went to school, and when he was at home, he had to clean, to cook, and then you don't want to fucking sit and do your homework and study more. Then he just wanted to be a kid. And this is why he was receiving a 80, okay, 70, 80. That for in the Netherlands, you're doing too much. But he barely did something, luckily, at home. And as a kid, he thought about himself that it's bad, that he's a bad kid, that he's not disciplined. And now he thinks, oh, I just wanted to be a kid. And that's what I did. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a kid. I wanted to play video games. I wanted to go and hang out with my friends. In this time that I had after I went to school, came back, cleaned, and make something to eat. And then I wanted to be a kid. So he saw himself in a different way. In a good way. He understood that what he did for himself was the greatest gift he could give to himself, even though his family acted as if he's doing something bad. But as I said, his family knows only one language, so they know only one reality. But we here know that there are more than one reality. And we can choose, and we can change how we see ourselves now, how we have seen ourselves for years now. Now my partner can see himself as enough. As a smart kid that knew how much time he should put in the school thing to pass, to be enough, so he could take the other time that he had as a kid and as a teenager and invested in being a kid and a teenager. So lucky for him and for you, if you were this kid, you did the right thing. And if you were and still are a perfectionist, I'm here to tell you that the world will not collapse if you will do less. I know it's way more scary to perfectionists, so this video is not for perfectionists, but it also can help them, you, if you are watching. But this video is more for the people who just wanted to be kids and teenagers and basically just wanted to live. And now I want you to rewrite your story as well. And always, not only with this story, always search for other realities that even if everybody tell you that you are wrong, maybe and maybe not. Be curious, be open, and always search for reasons to be alive, to be a human being. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope that I helped you today in some way. If I have, share in the comments what you think about the subject. How was your childhood? Maybe you lived exactly like the Dutch people. Maybe you were living like me. I don't know. Share with your friends. Subscribe, like, check out the next video. Woo, 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 woo. I wish you a magical day full of magical adventures with the courage to just be your true self in the world. You deserve it.